Alex Eala's retaliation against a cheater, the adversary, was cold, calculating, and vicious. And utterly heartbreaking. Rafael Nadal saw it, and what he murmured then sent shockwaves through the whole tennis community. This wasn't only a game of tennis. This was a 20-year-old Filipino girl standing by themselves on an adversarial court in an unfriendly nation having an antagonistic populace. Additionally, the accusations leveled against her were so incorrect, so unrelenting, so blatantly unjust that even the chair, the umpire, was unable to overlook it. They attempted to rob her of her gold medal. They attempted to disrupt her cadence, shake her poise, would deprive her of a 26-year time in the constituting a whole country. What they was the most composed instead. Fierce and emotionally ruinous demonstration of women's mental toughness. It has been years since tennis was played. Remain upright. Here, because the whole account of what occurred in Bangkok is more remarkable than any headline could ever hope to convey, and it begins far in advance of that golden afternoon. To comprehend the reasons behind what occurred in Bangkok struck so strongly, you need to return not just to the start of the 2025 campaign, but to at the start of Alex Eala's journey. Due to the fact that the female on that court December 2025 in Thailand wasn't constructed in a year. She was constructed over a lifelong sacrifice that the majority of individuals, those who saw the highlights, will never completely grateful. In May, Alexandra Manigo Eala was born. Quezon City, Philippines, 23rd, 2005. A nation that had developed elite boxers, basketball legends, and fighters myths, but never in its whole in the history of contemporary sports, a player among the WTA's top 50 rankings. Tennis wasn't only an alien sport in the Philippines. It was, for the most of the history of the nation, a sport that was to another person's narrative, another person's nation, another person's future. 13 years old, Eala went away from home and settled in Spain's Mallorca. Will train at the Rafael Nadal Academy. Allow that to land for a moment. 13 years old and hundreds of miles away from relatives in another nation, acquiring a second language, competing with daily in opposition to footballers who had been prepared for playing tennis professionally. Because they were able to walk. The majority of children that are adjusting to high school. Alex Eala was attempting to figure out how to become a professional sportsman is among the most competitive sports worldwide. The academy taught her more than simply skill. Something more difficult to install measure. A competitive mindset created by the most unyielding champion the sport had ever seen. Rafael Nadal had not relied on skill to build his fame, alone, but on an almost terrifying unwillingness to compromise. That genetic material, that approach, that fervent need for battling for each and every point, regardless matter the score or the conditions, Eala took it in every day. She had received training at Nadal's academy from the age of 13, and the certain Hall of Famer monitored her throughout what became into a breakthrough season in 2025. That connection between the sport's a young Filipino and the best champion, a girl who pursued history, would end up becoming one of the most interesting side stories in women's tennis all year round. And what it was that year. Eala began 2025 ranked 147th globally and attained a career high rating of 50, turning into the first Filipino athlete to enter the WTA's top 50 rankings. She put together 26 losses and wins while making more than $900,000 in cash prizes. She triumphed over Grand Slam champions. She made it to her first WTA final, her first professional victory title. She turned 12 years old. Months, the most well-known tennis athlete in Asia and perhaps the most well-liked WTA Tour player anywhere in the world. However, every ranking and all of that point, every award, and every standing as December approached, the ovation was growing. 2025, heading for a court in Bangkok, Thailand, where the most crucial game is played of her fledgling career, was awaiting where a person was going to make the disastrous error of attempting to cheat. Alex Eala's moment is over. They had had no knowledge with whom they were interacting. Since the girl was influenced by Nadal's academy, doesn't falter. She doesn't fear. She doesn't break down and whine. She locks in. Her eyes tighten, and she demands payment for everything. You made an attempt to steal from her. Bangkok was on the verge of discovering it. You believe you've observed tennis gamesmanship? You haven't seen anything so far. What took place in the final in Bangkok was so blatant, too deliberate and so unrelenting that even neutrals observing from a distance the globe was incensed. Continue to watch because Eala's subsequent actions were something that no one anticipated. December 18, 2025, the National Tennis Development Center in Thailand's Nonthaburi. The gold medal 33rd Southeast Asian Games match final for women's tennis lees. Alex Eala from Mananchangkhia against the Philippine Sawanka from Thailand. The host country's player on the court of the host country in front of an audience in the host country. The air was charged and dense with partisan before to the first ball being hit. Eala had defeated Malaysia's in the quarterfinals, Xiaomi Leong and Naklo Thosaporn of Thailand in the semifinals in order to get here. And during the first rounds, the Filipino audience had been loud, fervent, and profoundly invested. However, nothing could get ready. Anybody for the outcome of the final. A statement was the first set. Eala was dominating, clinical, and completely in command. She won 6-1. The scoreboard seemed simple. It wasn't at all. Thus, Wangkaga was attempting to scrape, probe, and to figure out how to go in, but Eala's level was just too high. 6 matches, 1 for the rival, and the gold medal was almost in view. The second set then started, and the interference did the same. The initial dubious call occurred during the second game. A ball that any impartial third party could see was called out for being inside the line. By the person behind the lines. Eala looked at the line. She hasn't said anything yet, but the call stood. In the third game, the second occurred. 1 more ball. 1 more out call. This particular more difficult to protect. The Filipino spectators started to whisper. Still, the Thai audience roared. The third followed. Additionally, this one was it is difficult to defend. Following a third, the linesperson made a mistaken call, all overturned by the referee. Eala asked that the person on the lines be changed. She gently made her way to the chair, held her calmness entirely unaltered, and made her request was made in a calm, professional manner. Phrases. Rather than shouting, she wasn't making a show of crying. She was a professional sportswoman who enforced her entitlement to impartial officiating. The line someone got swapped out. However, the interruptions continued beyond the line calls. One admirer according to X, there were 3 straight line calls that are inaccurate and abnormally lengthy. Pause when Eala's rival Gallo Mananchangkhia visited the lockers, as well as changing the insoles of shoes. 15 love in a game, 15 love at Eala was in perfect beat at that moment. She was gaining speed when the medal was approaching with each shot. In the midst of all, the adversary paused, took a seat, and changed the shoe's insole. This is the section of the tale that changed a game of tennis into a fury throughout the country. Not just in the Philippines, globally. Tennis SEA Games enthusiasts who have never attended their life's match was abruptly typing frantically about the linesperson rotation, strategies for gamesmanship, and what constitutes a valid strategy as opposed to what goes beyond what anything more repulsive. Additionally, Eala sat in her chair while taking a restroom break. She inhaled. She took a sip of water. She gazed at her strings. She failed to appear. Give them 1 crack. Not 1. In the 8th game of the series, tied at 30, Eala scored off a powerful second set backhand to get the upper hand, then Asanka's failure to finish her historic campaign. 61-62 is the final score. She prevailed. In spite of everything, everyone disrupted rhythm, each incorrect call, she prevailed with each deliberate delay. In its entirety, cruelly. The retaliation wasn't only a triumph. A masterclass was held. However, this is what makes this tale even more larger. This was not the first instance. Alex Eala was rattled by someone on a large stage. Only a few months before, in the US Open, an incident occurred on a New York court that created the Bangkok scenario almost insignificant in contrast, and the fallout was worldwide. Go back in time. For months. August of 2025. Arthur, the largest tennis court on the stadium planet. The US Open debut of Alex Eala on the primary attraction. Clara Tolson, her rival of Denmark, the 14th seed, a previous winner of the Grand Slam and among the most players with experience on the circuit. By all means, Aya was the underdog by measure. She was then rated 75th in the world. Tolson sat there, seasoned, and playing on a court that she was familiar with. Before the first ball, the screenplay was written. Was hit. Gifted youthful wild card displays courage before descending down the gamer with greater experience. The conclusion of narrative. That script was not delivered to Aya. She won 63 in the first set. Authoritative, neat, and amazing. With a leveling, Tolson 6-2, the second set, and the third fell into one of the most dramatic finals the US Open's opening round had ever created. Eala was 15 behind in the third set, but didn't give up. She made a valiant return, clinging to 45. The dispute followed. She flicked a ball into the net, but it wasn't evident whether her racket had gone over the tape, which would have been against the law. Chair Caterni, the umpire, requested a video review. The stadium held its breath. Calmly, Eala waited at the net. Tolson gazed. The audience was humming with the particular electric tension that is exclusive to a significant dispute on a significant stage may produce. It was decided by the replay. Not decided that Aya's shooting was reasonable, and granted she gets the point. She had 2 breaks now. Opportunities at 15:40. But Tolson burst forth. Examine the ball, and tell me what are your thoughts on this? Opinion? She shouted at none while drinking. Reverberated in the stands. The postponement continued as she was standing at the baseline, refused to serve with her hands on her hips. This is where the remarkable begins. It had been Eala who had the dubious shot. The evaluation was completed. In her favor. Nevertheless, she remained still. In the middle of the storm, calm and quiet, while her rival, the seasoned, seated, and experienced, it was the professional who broke down. It was the other way around in the theater. Consider the psychological strain. At that very time, you're 20 years old. It's your first Grand Slam. The globe is observing. Your rival is yelling at the referee. The audience is agitated. Additionally, you must maintain this composure for only a little bit longer because of the momentum. You can't let it go because it's yours. She held it. The set continued till it reached a tiebreak. In the outdoors, Aya maintained her composure. Battled back and forth before sealing it. 76. With Tolson rejecting 2, the score was 7-6. Until the final minute, keep things simple. Still, Aya triumphed. Having said that, Alexandra Aya bounded into her next round. First US Open. The first lady from the Philippines to prevail in a Grand Slam singles match, primary attraction in the Open period. 2 disputes, 2 antagonistic settings, 2 attempts, one of which included contested calls for gamesmanship, including one that involves a contested net shot and a psychological siege to prevent her from being remembered. And Alex Eala strolled right through twice. The flames without suffering any burns. So, how did Rafael Nadal respond to everything? What did the Academy's founder do? Fabricated Alex Eala's statement when he saw his pupil managing not 1 but 2 of the most antagonistic times in women's tennis in recent years? The response is, it's going to chill you. Keep going. Right now. Nadal, Rafael, retired from professional tennis match on November 19, 2024. 1 year later, precisely, he was returning to a tennis court, but not to play, but to work out with Alex Eala at his Manor, Mallorca, academy. The meaning was so well built that it seemed almost predetermined. The best the sport had ever produced, a fighter, going back to court for the first time periodically during the year, deciding to beside the athlete who most exemplified the spirit in which he had dedicated his career defining. After a year, it felt fantastic. To return to the tennis court. It was Alex Eala. It's a pleasure practicing with you. I'll be stronger the next time, Nadal said. Posted on social media to show their session of preparation for his over 14 million ex-followers. The post was sent viral in a matter of hours. More than 100 million total impressions across platforms. A legend in retirement and a rising, a moment of a star sharing a court. Sharing what seemed to be the torch being passed in real time. Hey, replied on Instagram. Like you, back never went away. Just 4 words. The kind of simple, friendly shorthand between those who have a genuine connection. The graduate as well as her coach, the victor, and his successor. However, it was what had previously the year that revealed the most profound tale: the extent to which Nadal had been seeing Aya's struggles, her disputes, as well as her successes. Following the Miami Open, after Aya's victory against Agos Vitek and Madison Keys back-to-back on one of the most prominent platforms for women's, Nadal didn't wait for a news conference in tennis. Conference or an official response time. "I received a message from Rafa," Aya said at an interview. "For the first time ever, he messaged me directly. Thus, that was shocking to see. I simply saw this amusing tale. 2 or 3 days later. It was thrilling to see his alert. For the first time, he had sent her a direct message in 6 training in his school for years. Following seeing her maneuver through adversaries, contested calls, as well as the significance of he took up his phone, the hope of the country, and sent her a straight letter. "We are Aya, I'm really proud of you," Nadal wrote on X after her victory against world number 2 competent. "What a fantastic competition. Let's continue to dream." Those words, "let's continue to dream," it wasn't only a compliment. From the 20-year-old Rafael Nadal transforming unattainable goals into Grand Slam trophies by just refusing to give up believing. The words were a blessing, an indication, or a declaration that said, "I can see what you're becoming into and I have faith in your direction." And he did not only observe from afar. Joan Bosch, Eala's coach, described how Nadal himself intervened to provide direction at the academy. Then that Tony was present as well and that he was touching on a few subjects with Rafa. Then, by his own choice, Rafa as he wanted to send because I suppose he felt a connection to the circumstance. He even said this to Aya. "To also occur to me. Try this other thing, and he is the best person to understand how to make things better." The best player in the sport's history, seeing a 20-year-old Filipino woman, said while standing on a practice court, "This used to happen to me too." That was the case. Relationship between his and her journeys is the essence of the whole narrative. Since Nadal is well aware of what it feels like being undervalued, being questioned, to appear before a court where the circumstances, the throng, and the odds are stacked against, and to discover something inside yourself, which is just more powerful than everything. He saw the same phenomenon in Yes, Aya. After giving it a name, he took up a racket and began instructing her in make it even sharper. The internet responded. Just as you would anticipate, millions of comments and views. Filipino fans sharing videos of the Bangkok game in the Nadal training and the US Open session in the same sentence. Constructing a story that was nearly too dramatic to be true. It was genuine, however. Each and every the framing of it. Take a step back and see the whole 2025 image. Due to what Aya accomplished in a year and how she accomplished, it serves as the basis for anything that the world of women's tennis is only starting to completely comprehend. Hey, began 2025 with a global ranking of 147th. She was ranked number 52 at the end of the year, becoming the first Filipino athlete to enter the WTA's top 50 rankings. She accumulated 40 victories and 26 defeats while receiving prize money exceeding $900,000. She advanced to the semifinals of the Miami Open, defeating 3 Grand Slam winners in the process. The path. Her first WTA final was reached in Eastbourne. Her first victory, professional championship at the WTA 125 in Guadalajara. Her first Grand Prix victory, slammed the US Open's main draw match in a contest in which the outcomes were almost stolen from her via an online dispute. And she concluded the year with a record gold medal in a final at the Cigars, where apart from the actual tennis, everything was arrayed against her. At each and every during such times, someone or anything attempted to make her route more difficult. Additionally, in each and every one of those instances, she discovered the same solution. Nadal provided her important guidance to assist her enhance her forehand skills in preparation for 2026. That particular feature is important as it informs you that the task remains unfinished, and more crucially, Nadal is aware of it and is actively making investments to assist her in closing the remaining spaces. An ex-legend with 22 Grand Slams and a definitive, there is a mountain of harsh knowledge resting across from Alex Eala on a practice court as well as practicing her forehand. Consider what it implies for her destination. Against players ranked inside, Eala is 44. The top 20. Madison Keys was defeated by her. Iga Clara Tolson and Ostapenko. They are not easy victories. Those are scalps from several of the most successful athletes of their generation. And she gathered them up. Same year, she was negotiating the most antagonistic officiating experience in her career, an injury to the shoulder, and the strain of representing a country with more than 100 million people. In 2026, what will happen? The question that keeps women's tennis fans and experts are awake, right? Right now. She comes into the next season with a rating that allows her to be seeded at the things that are important. She gets to Grand Slams as a number that is known, a player opponents research, get ready for, and are afraid. The unexpected edge that worked in her favor no longer works so well in Miami. What takes its place? It's a test to see whether she can maintain this level while everyone is all set for her. Additionally, in that test, the most crucial item she is carrying isn't either her backhand, her forehand, or either her titles or her standing. That's what Bangkok shown, what New York shown, what each and every the hostile period in 2025 ended, and once again. Alex Eala, the young woman who went to Spain when he was 13 and received training in the shadow of a 22-time Grand Slam victor who took home the gold for a nation that had been it doesn't break after 26 years of waiting. She does not shatter. She holds off. She takes a breath. She switches the person on the line. She prevails. 11 points to 9 in the tiebreak. She prevails. 6-1, 6-2 in a game in which someone made an effort to take away her cadence, her concentration, and her moment. After that, she returns to Rafael is seated across a court from Mallorca. Nadal, while practicing her forehand. Since the retaliation was never only a scoreline. The retaliation was starting to indisputable. Additionally, in 2025, Alex Eala became just that. Alex's tale, the 2025 season of Eala, is more than simply a narrative about the outcomes of tennis. It tells the tale of what happens when gifted individuals get together. Tenacity matches the kind of mental poise that is impossible to fake or borrowed. It must be gained over years of pressure on the courts where no one is giving you anything. 2 disputes, 2 antagonistic settings, 2 efforts to interfere, divert, and degrade her. And the response to both was the same. Icy, calm, and completely decisive. Rafael Nadal accomplished more than simply construct an academy. He developed a philosophy. And that idea was discovered in Alex Eala. Its fullest manifestation to date. That will leave you with this query today. This, and we really hope you will respond. In the remarks, what we saw in 2025 just the start, or was this already the year that was most significant for Alex Eala profession? Due to the fact that 2026 courts are already waiting, and the others are as well. The whole planet. If this tale becomes differently, if you experienced each second of considering what Eala endured this year, you are well aware of what to do. Sign up, press the bell, since Alex Eala narrative is among the best in contemporary sports, and will be present for each and every one chapter of the next events. Don't miss it.